The flames will destroy their homes.
Plus, firefighters whose crew members were killed in a crash in Colorado are home tonight coping with the terrible loss.
And Vice President Dick Cheney arrives in Portland today. He's greeted by a loud group of protesters. The news starts right now.
Live, Anna Katayama, Chris Murphy, Monica Guzza with the Pinpoint Forecast, and Dan Christofferson Sports. This is the 10 o'clock news.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Fire rages out of control tonight in Arizona, chasing people from their homes. Two massive fires have merged, creating a huge problem for firefighters.
The fires have joined in a 50-mile-long blaze. Already 185 homes have been burned in the highlands of eastern Arizona, and as many as 25,000 people have fled more than half a dozen towns. One of those towns is Show Low, which is home to more than 7,000 people. Tonight, the people who evacuated Show Low are bracing for the worst. As for days now, the town of Show Low woke to a wall of smoke to the west. Most of the town of 8,000 evacuated the night before. An orderly retreat few expected after days with the wind not pushing the fire towards them. A few stayed, like Randy Penny, a one-time mayor who now runs a hotel, who, as a child 40 years ago, he watched his grandparents build.
I feel like they're still here. This is it. This is what I have. And when the fire started, you know, I just said, how can I help people?
People are pretty down and out, you know, and we all have families here, and we're all one big family, everybody in the community. You know, Randy, I consider him family, and it's tough on everybody.
The worst day in generations in Show Low. That in a town won in a card game back in the days of the Wild West. Everyone said no mere monster wildfire would put them out of business for good. Show Low's residents were ordered out late yesterday after flames leaped a fire break that crews have bulldozed about 8 miles west of town.
Meantime, in Colorado, fire has already forced a number of more people to evacuate their homes in Durango. 45 homes have been destroyed so far, and the fire, we're told, is kicking up again. Right now, the fire is only 25% contained. Flames have consumed 62,000 acres, and hundreds of homes have been evacuated. Crews are working on plowing fire lanes around microwave and radio towers now to protect communications.
Arizona and Colorado are just two of the 7 western states where major wildfires are burning tonight. Closer to home, a low snowpack at low elevations triggers a worse-than-expected fire outlook for Oregon and for Washington. For more on the western wildfires outlook, let's go to meteorologist Rod Hill. Rodney?
Yeah, Chris, so far it's been a fairly quiet season. We have had a number of smaller fires across our state this year, but nothing significant, as I'm sure you are aware. Take a look at this map. It shows you the areas that the Northwest Fire Center is worried about becoming potential hotbeds for fire as we get into the months of the summer season ahead. I've outlined more or less in green the Deschutes National Forest, the Ochoco National Forest, and the John Day River Basin. Those of the areas are the areas of particular concern. Again, no fires tonight. It's just that we're worried about those spots perhaps becoming tinderboxes in the months ahead. You will recall that eastern Oregon just had a normal snowpack this year, even at the higher elevations, not enough to wipe out or reverse the effects of the drought we had a year ago. And Chris and Anna, I will also remind you that it has been a very dry spring. For the city of Portland, if you go back to the 1st of March, we're running at about 80% of normal rainfall. And of course, as we go into July and August, you know, we don't pick up much of anything at all. So our fire season, the concerns are there, and we'll have to be careful. And of course, we'll update you if anything should develop over the coming weeks. Chris and Anna?
All right, we'll have to keep a close eye on it, Rod. Thanks much.
Grieving firefighters spend their first day back home in eastern Oregon and Idaho.
These firefighters are the friends of the 4 firefighters who were killed in a rollover accident en route to wildfires in Colorado. Jim Hyde has their story.
Buses brought the firefighters back to La Grande late Saturday night. Charter jet flew them from Colorado to Pendleton after one of their 8 vans crashed and killed 4 firefighters from a crew based at Grayback Forestry in La Grande.
The Forest Service will work with Grayback Forestry Incorporated to provide what we call critical stress debriefing for those who would like to have that.
A Grayback spokesman says 53 of the 60 firefighters have returned to La Grande. The more severely injured and bodies of the 4 killed remain in Colorado. including Dan Rama of Baker City.
He went to the first training session and said, "Oh yeah, I can do this. This will, this is going to be terrific."
Judy and David Rama know their son Dan as a laid-back guy, but eager for his 5th season of firefighting.
He's relaxed, had a good sense of humor.
The Ramas say their children are good friends of Megan Helm of LeGrand, the driver of the van that rolled and killed their son. Dan Rama and Megan had just returned from 2 weeks with a fire crew in southern Utah.
That's been really hard.
Yes.
And it's on the news, and she's being charged, and we know her well enough to know that she would never have intentionally done anything, and so that part's been difficult. That's made it hard.
We know that firefighting is dangerous work, and it's hard physical work. These people didn't die from a fire.
The Ramas know young people will continue to work the fire lines and hope they'll be as enthusiastic as their son. The thunder showers that soaked eastern Oregon might be the only bright spot this Sunday. The moisture might push fire season around here to later this summer. In Baker City, Jim Hyde, the 10 o'clock news.
But tonight, Colorado police have released the name of the 4th firefighter killed in the accident. He is 19-year-old Zachary Zigich of Twin Falls, Idaho. Now, the others are 19-year-old Retha Shirley of LeGrand, Jake Martindale of Boise, and Dan Rama from Baker City.
3 other fallen firefighters that would also have been dispatched from LeGrand are remembered in Nevada. The men died in an air tanker crash in California Monday. In a memorial last night, the victims' family and friends gathered to pay tribute. The men were battling a fire near Yosemite when their plane went down.
What Steve, Craig, and Mike were doing, they were inherently dangerous. They knew that. They did it anyway.
The cannon fire, the one the men were fighting, is still raging out of control. Stay tuned to KPTV, Oregon's 12, for continuing coverage of the wildfires raging in the west.
In Clackamas County, firefighters responding to an alarm at a commercial building find no fire, just a smoke bomb that someone apparently threw into the building. It happened on the 8800 block of Sunnyside Road. People who work at a nearby fireworks tent say they had just sold a couple of smoke bombs to 2 teenage boys minutes before the fire alarm went off about 10 this morning.
We believe through the elevator shaft, once someone pitched the smoke alarm in here, and it rolled in here and laid in that general area. We believe smoke traveled through this elevator shaft, worked its way up to the 3rd floor.
There are no injuries reported, just some minor damage to the building.
This incident, a good reminder, fireworks in the wrong hands can be very dangerous. Fireworks stands are now up all over the Northwest for 4th of July holiday festivities. Remember, never hold lit fireworks or aim them at anyone. Also, it's a good idea to have a hose or a bucket of water around when you're lighting those fireworks, and always have parents around.
My favorite times of the year, and it's good that everybody's doing this, and it can be dangerous, but if you have parents and supervision for it, it's fine.
Hey, that's a smart kid. For more safety tips about fireworks, call your local fire department.
Vice President Dick Cheney arrives in Portland today to raise some money for Republican Senator Gordon Smith. The vice president's arrival did prompt a protest on downtown Portland streets. A military helicopter provides security as Vice President Dick Cheney arrives at the Benson Hotel in downtown Portland. Around the corner, protesters vie for the vice president's attention.
What we're seeing is an increase in the violence that the United States is sending out into the world, and we think that there ought to be another response to the terrorist attacks of 9/11.
A few hundred people marched the streets surrounding the Benson Hotel, protesting everything from U.S. military action in Afghanistan to Enron.
It was, after all, Dick Cheney who was meeting with Enron President Kenneth Lay, designing our country's energy policy, essentially giving away the energy policy of our country.
The Pacific Green Party is the only party that's out here protesting Bush and Cheney's policies. I'd like to know where the Democrats are at. I want to know where Ron Wyden's at. I want to know where Mr. Wu's at.
Hey, hey, USA! How many more did we kill today?
Security agents watch the action from perches atop downtown buildings.
I'm all for security. There's nothing wrong with that, and I understand that there are potential problems, but I don't understand why, when someone comes to town to raise money for a politician, why we should have to pay for that individual security.
The vice president traveled to Portland to raise money for the campaign of Republican Senator Gordon Smith. The protesters are hoping he takes some of this message home with him.
There are American citizens who consider it their patriotic duty to dissent from what we see as a war of terror that the Bush administration is carrying out against the world.
Tomorrow morning at a downtown Portland hotel, Mr. Cheney will attend a fundraising breakfast for Senator Smith. The $250 a plate breakfast will include a photo session with Cheney for those who donate $10,000 or more. And just ahead on the 10 o'clock news, will America's Amtrak service shut down this week? We'll tell you what's being done to keep the trains running. Also, doctors say they may have an answer now to what killed St. Louis Cardinals pitcher Darryl Kyle. Those stories and Osama bin Laden's followers published tapes they say prove bin Laden is still alive.
I gotta let go. Gotta leave this thing behind now that I found something new inside. Watch me now as I'm leaving you behind me. Realize it's time to go and let me free. Like a bird, I feel the wind blow. I know when it's time to go.
When you have kids, you have to set priorities. So for family meals, I like to stress the family part, and I let someone else stress over the meal. That's why I was so happy to discover Schwann's.
Discover Schwann's yourself. Get a free chicken Alfredo rigatoni meal with your first purchase by calling 1-866-255-4344. It's one of more than 300 frozen food items they deliver.
With help from Schwann's, it's just a little easier to hold down the fort.
Call now for your free meal.
Oh, this is Wix Furniture.
If you get your furniture home and it's whoa.
Too big, too small?
What was I thinking?
Wix will take it back.
No risk furniture buying, dude.
It's Wix Furniture's big 36-hour store-wide sale featuring Wix fabulous new Lazy Boy collection. Plus, no money down with no monthly payments and no finance charges due for 1 year.
Wix doesn't put the screws to you.
Were there any questions?
The new Dodge SXTs, CD sound, aluminum wheels, and some cash left over.
What's the date?
Your Northwest Dodge dealers are proud title sponsors of the Pacific Amateur Golf Classic.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news.
Welcome back. 2 people are dead tonight after a terrible accident this morning.
It happened right in the heart of downtown Portland. Portland police say that around 2:15 this morning, 21-year-old David Voiters was heading east on Market Street, speeding in an Integra. He had 2 people in the car. A Honda headed north on 4th ran into Voiters' car. The Honda spun out of control, hit a pole, but the driver was not hurt. 2 people in Voiters' car were killed. Tonight, Voiters faces 2 counts of manslaughter.
Your plans to take the train this summer may soon be derailed. Amtrak will begin shutting down train services by the middle of this coming week unless it receives a $200 million government-backed loan. Today, House Majority Leader Dennis Hastert said he thought there were some places they could shut down.
Well, the Amtrak situation is something that we need to take a look at. I think there needs to be reforms, and some reforms in Amtrak. When a passenger from New Orleans to Los Angeles is subsidized, that ticket is subsidized over $300, that person can fly on an airplane a lot quicker, and it may be more efficient way. So we need to look at what the costs are and how we can cut some of those costs.
We here at Channel 12, of course, will keep a close eye on this upcoming week. Transportation Secretary Norman Minetta's Federal Railroad Administration is reviewing Amtrak's request for the loan guarantee, and the railroad's board has scheduled an emergency meeting for tomorrow.
The local Amtrak passengers are worried about the possible shutdown. Some people who are afraid to fly have no idea now what they're going to do for long trips without a car. Many are also disappointed that their annual summer trips by train might have to be canceled.
I think it's terrible. Amtrak is the only rail passenger service that the United States has. People have been riding the train since the railway was built. I just think it's terrible that they have to close down or that the threat might be closing down.
Some 60,000 people ride Amtrak trains every day.
A budget crunch is also taking a toll on stamp prices. They're going up in a week. Starting June 30th, you'll have to pay 3 cents more to mail a first-class letter. Now, the slump in the economy, especially after September 11th attacks, prompted the postmaster to raise rates earlier than expected. A new 3-cent star stamp is available to add to the 34-cent stamps you already have lying around the house right now.
Boy, those rates just keep going up and up, don't they?
Well, I'll tell you, they're in trouble. Amtrak's in trouble, and more bad news in the world of baseball, Dan.
That's right. You know, we're dealing with this, the Darryl Kyle death yesterday, trying to figure out what happened. And there's a preliminary report today. Darryl Kyle was scheduled to walk to the mound tonight and pitch for his St. Louis Cardinals against the rival Chicago Cubs. Instead, while his family and all of baseball struggled with his tragic death, doctors released a preliminary autopsy report, and it points to heart failure. Kyle found dead yesterday in his Chicago hotel room. The initial findings showed a severe blockage of a coronary artery. Doctors say that 2 of 3 artery branches were narrowed by 80 to 90%. Now, that news did not, of course, ease the pain of Cardinal teammates who need to lean on baseball's family right now.
Me personally, and I know my team would like to just thank everybody that's in it and for understanding what we're going through and understanding what the family's going through, and that's it. That's all I got to say.
I think it's important for us that we play. I think it's even more important to respect Darryl and play tonight.
We ask that you please join us in a moment of silence to remember St. Louis Cardinals pitcher number 57, Darryl Kyle.
Kyle and the wife and kids he left behind. Cardinals tried to get back to it against those Cubs. Tough spot for rookie Jason Simentachi, that is, taking the mound in Kyle's place. You see Moises Alou launch a home run for the Cubs, and it's going to be all Chicago in this one. Number 57, though, the only score that really matters, only number that really matters. The Cardinals were shut out until Albert Pujols unloads a little bit of that team's emotional baggage. Final score 8-3 Cubs. Pujols points to the sky for obvious reasons. No Tiger Woods at the Greater Hartford Golf Open, probably home polishing his U.S. Open trophy. You would too. And you know what that means? Clear sailing ahead for lefty Phil Mickelson. He can just about beat everybody on tour that's not named for a ferocious beast. Admire the ball action right here on this approach in Connecticut. Rolling back, and you can say goodbye. Mickelson's the number 2 player in the world, but don't you love the way he's as excited as anybody would be for doing that? By the way, Mickelson won the tournament with a final round 64. This is Jonathan Kay making like Mickelson with the rollback action. And that could have been the shot of the day. I don't know which one you like better. I just like to be able to do one of those once in my life, and it probably won't happen the way those guys put this spin action on the ball. It's amazing.
This is when Phil makes all his money, right? When Tiger's not there.
Exactly.
He has such a sweet swing watching him hit that ball.
He'll win a major one of these days. Mark my words, you guys.
He hasn't done it, has he?
He has not.
Wow, okay.
Maybe
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Dan. The summertime ball game had some presidential oversight today. Girls and boys entertained President Bush on the south lawn of the White House with a game of t-ball. Not only was there a VIP in the audience, but there was also a VIP at third base. D.C. Mayor Tony Williams coached the kids home to home plate.
And a has set a jet ski record by cruising from Rome to Miami. Alvaro Di Maracala, I'm sure I'm botching his name, is the first person to complete the 5,200-mile Atlantic crossing. It took this Spanish Count, an aristocrat, 4 months to do it. He says the hardest part of the trip, as hard as me pronouncing his name, was the cold, especially between Rome and Naples. Okay, the mystery of the whereabouts of Osama bin Laden has taken a new twist tonight.
Just ahead on the 10 o'clock news, federal investigators are trying to figure out if recently acquired tapes prove that bin Laden is alive.
And we were just missed by an asteroid this week. Find out if scientists think we have to worry about another close call.
I'm
I'm Kimberly Moss.
And I'm Ken Ackerman. Summer is just about to get sweeter. Monday on Good Day Oregon, we're kicking off blueberry season with a great recipe.
Plus, overcome your fears, take risks, and achieve success. We'll show you some powerful strategies. Also, they're not just for asthma anymore. We'll check out the many uses of inhalers.
And before joining a clinical trial, hear what you need to know. That's Monday on Good Day Oregon.
Once upon a time, there was a young girl who had oh my, what a wonderful day. She made lots of friends, touched a cloud or two on a California adventure. And the next day, she even saw a wish come true. There's more magic than ever at the Disneyland Resort. And right now, one child gets in free with each 3-day adult package. Call 1-877-700-DISNEY to book your Disney California vacation.
Bill Shanley drives the lane. He looks left, goes right, and he sees 0% financing now at Saturn of Beaverton. Get 0% financing for up to 60 months on nearly every new 2002 Saturn. Or you can buy your brand new Saturn with absolutely no money down. Wow, what a steal. Bill takes a shot. Nothing but net. He scores at Saturn of Beaverton, part of the Russ Auto Group, 1 block east of Murray Boulevard on Canyon Road.
Like to do this? You'll love this. With AT&T Digital Cable, you'll find channels that fuel all your outdoor interests. And when you're ready to kick back, Digital Cable has multiple channels of the best premium TV. Call 1-800-CABLE-ME now. Order any digital value package that includes HBO and Showtime and save $10 a month for the first 3 months. Plus, get a $50 gift card from G.I. Joe's. Whatever you're into outdoors, AT&T Digital Cable brings it home.
Hey, come on, let's go.
Only in Oregon, where millions of dollars in lottery profits go to maintain our state parks year-round. Because to Oregonians, there's no such thing as a bad day at the beach. Lottery games are based on chance and should be played for entertainment only.
Everybody loves Raymond, where love is a full-contact sport.
Weeknights on KPTV, Oregon's 12.
Lots of people are wondering if Osama bin Laden is alive or dead, and tonight U.S. investigators are listening to an audio tape thought to have bin Laden's voice on it.
Suzanne Malveaux reports on how Washington is reacting to the recordings.
Osama bin Laden, alive and well. That according to an al-Qaeda spokesman on a newly released audio tape playing on Arab TV. The bin Laden associate, Suleiman Abul-Ghaith, claims Osama bin Laden is in good health, along with his top lieutenant Ayman al-Zawahiri and Taliban leader Mullah Omar. He goes on to say 98% of the leadership of al-Qaeda are safe. Our military and security systems are currently watching and investigating new targets. While administration officials downplay the significance of the tape, members of Congress say claims about bin Laden are consistent with U.S. intelligence.
Our best intelligence estimate continues to be that he is alive and probably someplace in those tribal areas on the western side of Pakistan.
Echoed by Afghanistan's new president, who says bin Laden's days are numbered.
Criminals can hide and it's really difficult to find an individual. But he will be found one day, sooner or later, that is for sure.
He's had a history of hiding, lying low, and then striking again. But until we see some forensic evidence that he's dead, I assume he's alive.
An assumption that is now leading some critics to openly question the success of Bush's war on terror, specifically U.S. military operations inside Afghanistan.
I think when you have 1,000 people in a mountain range, you need to move whatever assets are necessary to guarantee you're going to capture the world's greatest terrorist. And it seems to me that to rely on Afghans who a week before had been on the other side to go up and do the job is not a very good strategy.
The administration dismisses the criticism as politically motivated, saying from the very beginning it's maintained it may take months, even years, to capture bin Laden. And even then, the war on terror would be far from over. Suzanne Malveaux, CNN, the White House.
The interview appeared as an audio file on the 2 Islamic websites.
U.S. and British troops have confiscated what is believed to be the largest cache of weapons discovered so far in Afghanistan. This tops our look at news from around the world tonight. Rockets, mortars, and other missiles are piled high in a remote eastern Afghan compound. Troops say that their attention was drawn to this compound by a large antenna on the roof. Soldiers broke down the walls of the compound after the door was slammed in their faces. At least 8 men were captured in the raid, and tonight they are being questioned.
Soldiers and tanks are on the move in the West Bank tonight. Israeli troops moved in Jenin earlier today and then later into Ramallah to surround Yasser Arafat's compound. The actions follow 3 Palestinian attacks last week that left 31 Israelis dead. Israel has authorized its military to re-enter Palestinian towns and stay as long as necessary to defeat terrorism.
In Iran, the search is on now for survivors of a massive earthquake. State-run media reports that at least 500 people have been killed. 1,600 others are injured, and this after a quake on Saturday morning. The death toll is expected to climb. Several major aftershocks have been reported. Back in 1963, a quake in this same area killed 12,000 people. Coming up on the 10 o'clock news tonight, meteorologist Rod Hill says we have summer days ahead, but you may not like when the rain is expected to return.
Plus, a fire in New York City traps a family in an apartment building, and several people are dead.
And conjoined twins cross an ocean for care here in the United States. Their story right after this.
This is the Chrysler PT Cruiser. Very cool on the outside, but even cooler on the inside. With CD storage right under your seat, massive side pockets for all your stuff, and 32 different seating configurations. It's one of the most versatile rides on the road. So it's up to what you're into. After all, change is good, right?
Get to your Chrysler dealer and get in a PT Cruiser for just $17.40 with 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain protection.
In 1935, the farming folks of St. Paul, Oregon decided they needed a little fun.
This year marks the 67th St. Paul Rodeo, July 3rd through 6th, presented by Les Schwab Tires. 4 days of bronking, bucking, dirt throwing, and clowning around. Plus, for the first time, the finals of the Wrangler Pro Rodeo Tour on Saturday, and a brand new pyrotechnic fireworks show after each evening performance. Call 1-800-237-5920 to order your tickets now, because nobody does rodeo like St. Paul.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the Chevron. Let's all go to the Chevron.
Coming up later on the 10 o'clock news, a look at the life and legacy of Ann Landers. We'll be right back.
Ziba Design in Portland combines form and function to make everyday products easier to use. That's why Ziba picked a local health plan that looks at things the same way. LifeWise. LifeWise offers an open choice of more than 6,000 doctors and caregivers, as well as online health information at your fingertips. After all, when you're thinking outside the box, you don't want a health plan that keeps you in one. LifeWise, it's up to you.
There's a lot of people out there with a lot of need. Walmart gives us the opportunity to help more people than we'd ever be able to help on our own. They're our friends and our neighbors. Every Walmart down the street and across the country is helping their communities through the Good Works program. With education, the environment, the children always have a special place in my heart. Their eyes tell their whole story, and their faces and their smiles. You just get emotional. I think it brings a tear to your eye to see the difference that you can make. The giving part is what makes you happy.
No! I'm not compromising your integrity! I'm only asking for one spot that mentions that Thomason has the best internet shopping experience in Portland.
Yeah, well, spot and jacket. Get out of the way. I quit. I quit, so I told quitting. Who needs you people? You pay, screw it all. Get out of my loony.
7 people die in an apartment building in New York City.
The victims are believed to be from the same family. Authorities report that the blaze swept through a 3-story apartment complex this afternoon. Happened in the Brooklyn Bay Ridge neighborhood. Fire started on the 2nd floor and it quickly grew out of control. More than 150 firefighters responded, working to stamp out the inferno. It appears the dead became trapped in the structure as the flames grew. No word on what caused the fire.
Across America tonight, an upstate New York toddler recovers in Boston after being seriously burned last night. Syracuse police say the boy suffered 3rd-degree burns after being doused with lighter fluid and lit on fire by a 7-year-old. Officials say 4-year-old Nyquist Tierney had the burns on 95% of his body. The name of the 7-year-old has not been released. Police are still investigating.
In Dallas, Texas, conjoined twins from Egypt are scheduled to undergo a medical evaluation tomorrow. A CAT scan is scheduled in the morning. Afterwards, doctors will decide whether the 1-year-old twins can be separated. The boys are connected at the crown of their heads. And if the surgery can be performed, the skin on their skulls will be stretched so that incisions can eventually be closed. The process is expected to take 6 to 8 weeks.
About 60 people in Boston marched today to protest priests who abuse children. They walked silently, carrying photos draped with a purple cloth of children allegedly molested by the church leaders. Supporters and relatives of the victims lined the streets between Boston Common to the Cathedral Holy Cross. Protesters have gathered at the cathedral each Sunday since the abuse scandal erupted in January.
And Rhode Island police are searching for some vandals tonight. They spray-painted 3 black swastikas on a Jewish temple. The people are treating the incident as a hate crime. Members of the synagogue discovered the symbols yesterday. The temple's rabbi says they have never encountered this type of vandalism before. And the FBI is releasing some bad news on the crime front tonight. Major crime increased last year for the first time in a decade, including a 3.1% increase in murders. Robberies, burglaries, and car thefts are also up. The report does not include those killed in the attacks on September the 11th.
Okay, from all that terrible stuff to the bright side of things, your weather forecast, Rodney.
Relief.
Yeah, not a cheerful night in news tonight. Our weather coming up, though, is going to be very nice over the coming days. Then the tease was you may not like when the rain starts. Right now, that would be as we get going into this coming weekend. But the good news is the 4th of July weekend is after this weekend. So you would think statistically if it rains this coming weekend, it would be better on the 4th.
Yeah.
Did you follow all of that?
So they say.
And of course, there's no scientific basis to any of that. We start you off tonight with fun in the fountains here in the Rose City.
No scientific basis.
Take a look. Remember way back when there was a possibility of rain, and at least I thought it would be a cloudy day today. Turned out to be pretty nice and warm enough to kick and splash around in the water in downtown Portland. High temperatures on this Sunday afternoon, 75 degrees in the Rose City. It was a cooler weekend because the airflow is now coming from the Pacific and onshore flow. Salem had 76 degrees. Still some warm spots. The Dalles made it up into the 80s, as did Redmond, and the hot spot across our state, Ontario, with a high temperature this afternoon of 91. Up north, Seattle had 71. Wenatchee had 83, Kelso 72 for you, and watching Long Beach tonight. Hello, your high temperature today was 68. Outside right now, we have partly cloudy conditions. It's still a warm evening. We're at 70 degrees. Dew point's 57 tonight. Our barometer's on the rise, and the wind direction northwest at 12 miles per hour. Okay, coming up, I mentioned it's going to be very nice, and we will be warming up. Upper level low down in the Gulf of Mexico. More rains in Florida today. You know, it has been a very, very wet spring-summer season. A couple of nights ago, I shared with you that West Palm Beach has already picked up like 17 inches of rain for the month of June, which is the wettest June they've ever had. But notice the jet, it's way up here. High pressure located over Texas is a big heat mound that does include the Four Corners in the state of Arizona, which is one reason why the weather couldn't be worse for the people fighting firefights down there, fighting fires down there, if I can say that. Here's the big ridge for us. Very nice weather coming up. The airflow at the surface will be switching more to the north-northeast over the coming days, so we'll be warming up. Now, often in the summer, you look for the jet stream, and that's your best bet to see some pretty good thunderstorms. If you look carefully tonight, you can see some big boomers that have moved across the upper peninsula of Michigan. Last 3 or 4 days have brought a lot of rain to Minnesota and Wisconsin. Some pictures tonight out of the state of Wisconsin where they're pumping water and trying to clean up the mess in Wautoma. I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. Small Wisconsin city is right in the central portion of that state. Yeah, just kind of cleaning up. These pictures shot yesterday. I will tell you back on Friday they had to close the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport for, I think, 3 hours because they had flooding problems and heavy, heavy rain in that location. Okay, high temperatures today across the country. We'll go to the temperature map. I'll step out of the way. 83 New York City today. For the most part, you know, it's summer across our country. 92, the hot spot, one of the hotter spots up in Chicago. 90 up in Minneapolis today. Hot down in Texas. 93 degrees in Denver this afternoon. Boise had 90, 107, really hot down in Phoenix. And we mentioned earlier it was in the 70s up in Seattle today at 71. There's a so-so chance there will be some low cloudiness on the coast tomorrow, but it would be brief if it happens at all. Otherwise, mostly sunny skies. 65 degrees at Astoria. The winds near shore will still be coming in from the northwest, but fairly light at 10 knots. I don't think we have any low clouds in the valleys, so look for mostly sunny conditions all day tomorrow. And warming up a bit. Kelso's still in the mid-70s, but Salem should hit 81, and Eugene will get up to about 80 tomorrow as well. Government Camp 68, beautiful day up in the Cascades, mostly sunny skies, west winds. Central Oregon, the same, very nice. Pineville, sunshine tomorrow. Redmond, 86, Bend, 84 after your morning low of 43. Could be an isolated late-day thunderstorm in Burns. Otherwise, you'll be partly sunny, 86 degrees. John Day will be sunny and 85 after a morning low of 52, and maybe an isolated thunderstorm in Baker City tomorrow as well. 89 degrees. LeGrand will be dry and partly sunny, and Pendleton just mostly sunny and 90. The Dalles 86, mostly sunny skies in the gorge. West winds 10 to 20 around Hood River, where your high temperature will be 81 degrees. For the Rose City in the morning, partly sunny to mostly sunny skies, 57 degrees. Nice day, warmer than today as the wind direction goes more to the north. 70 at noon. I think we have a good chance to hit 80 tomorrow, and then we'll be up into the 80s for a couple of days to come. In fact, 86 on Tuesday looks to be the warm day of the week. 83 on Wednesday. Right now I just have us sunny all the way through Thursday. Thursday's the day we start to cool down again because the flow has switched back to the northwest onshore flow, and right now it looks like rain for the weekend, but that's based on one computer model. One computer model doesn't say so, so we'll be updating that through the week. But right now I'll say a chance of rain on Saturday and on Sunday.
Looks like a lot of rain.
Well, you know, I had people email me and they say, you know, I read your forecast, Rod, and you're saying just a slight chance of rain, but then I look at your 7-day, it looks like it's going to be pouring. You know, the 7-day graphic just has the one icon that shows the raindrops. So you really have to listen to what I'm saying. Yeah.
What?
What?
Hey, let me throw you a curveball a little bit. The pollen count and all that. Yeah. Is that what is causing me to sneeze so much in these allergies?
We did a story on the 10 o'clock news a couple nights ago about the pollen count and then certain things being high and some people having a worse problem this season than they have in past years. But overall, I understand the numbers aren't any higher. It just depends on the individual elements that tend to bother you.
Count's not higher, but they say we had more dry weather, so I guess that causes it to be stirred up a bit more. Give us more problems.
It makes sense to me. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Hey, thanks, Anna.
I did the story.
Okay.
The only reason I know.
I should have asked you.
I didn't remember that you did it. I apologize.
Rodney, never mind. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, 75,000 miles. That is how close a giant asteroid came to hitting the Earth last week. Now, that doesn't exactly sound like a near miss, but as Christopher Jones reports, it was close enough to have some scientists worried.
Every day, thousands visit the Hayden Planetarium at the American Museum of Natural History. And among the exhibits that fascinate is this meteorite, one of only a relative handful that has been recovered intact after hitting Earth.
If this thing were to hit Earth today, it'd probably make a crater about the size of this room. If that thing hit today, it'd probably make a crater about a mile across.
An asteroid thousands of times the size of this meteorite came perilously close to Earth just a week ago, missing by 75,000 miles, and that's less than a third of the distance to the moon. To give you a little better idea of what we're talking about, I'm standing in the middle of Giant Stadium. The asteroid that so narrowly missed Earth was as big as everything you see on this field. But if it had exploded above Earth or hit it, it would have had the devastating effect of 5,000 atomic bombs. In fact, if a football field-sized asteroid actually struck over a major city, every building in it would have been destroyed and every person vaporized. That possibility is enough to make most of us worry.
Every few years, we detect another near-Earth object that's large enough to cause worldwide devastation. There are actually thousands of such objects floating around in the solar system, and the chances of them hitting us in any given year are probably 100 million to 1. So I wouldn't lose any sleep over it, but nonetheless, if they did hit, it would be kind of a problem for us all.
Pleasant dreams. Christopher Jones.
Now, in general, damage on the ground depends on what an asteroid is made of, varying from solid metal to loosely bound rock.
Nothing falling from the sky, but there was plenty of interest for people at the annual Taste of Beaverton this weekend. The The three-day taste event was held in Griffith Park. Vendors supplied food and wine for the sampling. No wine for the kids, though. And the kids had their own separate kids' land to keep them occupied. The festival proceeds go to benefit programs developed by the Beaverton Chamber of Commerce. A favorite of newspaper readers will no longer be available.
Still ahead on the 10 o'clock news tonight, we're going to tell you why Ann Landers did not want anyone to carry on her tradition.
Plus, meet the Portland man behind the Spidey suit. A popular comic book hero has roots here in the Rose City.
John? John, what are you doing? John. Come on, John. It's my turn to drive. Hello?
Right now, lease a Saab 9.5 Sport Wagon as low as $369 a month for 36 months. For details, see your Saab dealer.
This summer, Lowe's is improving home improvement. Lowe's has certified nursery specialists who will help you choose the perfect plant, or flower, or planter from our bountiful selection. And with our Green Thumb guarantee, you can turn an ordinary backyard into your very own private park. And Lowe's promises low prices every day, guaranteed. Lowe's, improving home improvement.
I love the smell and taste of food cooked on an open wood fire, and I love my gas grills. But until I added smoke and barbecue, there was something missing. The pellets are a blend of all natural woods. Put some in a foil pouch like this and drop it near the flame. Smoke and barbecue gives that real wood fire flavor. My family loves smoke and barbecue.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, and so do my neighbors. I just wish they'd get their own.
Where there's smoke and barbecue, there's real flavor.
Mom, we gotta go. Go, Mom, they're waiting outside. Hey, girls, I'm coming.
Blueberries are going to be coming right behind it.
You gonna make me a pie?
At least a pie. Blackberries, too.
It's amazing how many of the things we value in Oregon grow out of our forest, like clean water, recreation, a diverse economy. The question is, how do we balance these? And how do we make sure that the environmental, social, and economic benefits will always be there? You're invited to help answer that question and to help Oregon strike the right balance. Here's how you can join the discussion about sustaining all the benefits that come from our forests.
Compare Ford F-150 to Chevy Silverado and you'll see that F-150 has more horsepower, more towing, the highest maximum payload, and better mileage. No surprise then that F-150's been the best-selling truck for the last 25 years. And right now you can lease an F-150 XL Sport from your Northwest Ford store for only $271 a month for 36 months. Ford F-150 for $271 a month. It's more truck for the money.
Well, there will never be another Ann Landers. The queen of advice columnists died yesterday at the age of 83.
Before her death, Landers made sure that no successor could ever take the name or write the column that made her so famous. John Dempsey reports.
In the 83 years that Esther Lederer lived, she influenced millions of lives, writing an advice column that appeared in more than 1,200 newspapers around the world, at one time reaching 90 million people. In a 1996 interview, she said it all started when she won a Chicago Sun-Times contest in 1955.
And they ran a contest. And the first letter was a legal question. A woman who had a walnut tree. And most of the walnuts were falling on the neighbor's lawn. And they were fighting. To whom did these walnuts belong? The woman whose tree it was said, "It's my tree." The other woman said, "It's my lawn."
It's legendary. You went to the Supreme Court.
How do you know
Justice Douglas.
everything?
Eppie Lederer became known worldwide as Ann Landers, influencing her sister Pauline, who followed in her footsteps and became Dear Abby. Landers dispensed plain-spoken, sometimes sarcastic advice, helping people solve problems large and small. She would say she never imagined she would have such good fortune.
It never occurred to me that I would ever have a career. I never thought about working. I thought about getting married, having a family, staying home.
Psychology Today once gave Ann Landers credit for having more influence on the way people work out their problems than any other person of her era. Now that era is over. A life well lived and an impact that will never be forgotten.
Will somebody else, can anybody else be Ann Landers?
Well, they can write an advice column, but they'll never have my name. I own that name.
You could will it to someone.
I don't wish to will it to anyone. That's me. And when I go, the column goes with me.
Landers died of multiple myeloma, a malignant tumor of the bone marrow. Her twin sister Pauline will carry on the family tradition in her syndicated Dear Abby column.
The writer of the new Spider-Man comic book series Ultimate Spider-Man showing off his latest work today. Brian Michael Bendis was one of the featured authors at today's Portland Comic Book Show. Bendis and other comic book creators signed autographs for fans at the Memorial Coliseum.
People are really enjoying it. Marvel called me and asked me if I wanted to start Spider-Man over from scratch, and I was like, that sounds like a pretty good job. So here we are.
Hey, he's a great guy if you haven't met him. Bendis recently moved here to Portland and writes the Spider-Man comic book from his home here.
A cartoon is making inroads at the box office. Disney's latest animated film, Lilo and Stitch, raked in nearly $36 million this weekend. The movie combines an alien from space, a little girl named Lilo, and music from The King. Stitch is a space alien who crash lands in Hawaii and is adopted by Lilo. Director Chris Sanders first came up with the idea of Stitch 17 years ago. He believes the film carries a positive message.
One of the things we wanted to say with this film is that inevitably there are going to be times in your life when you make a mistake. It's inevitable. And the most important thing that you can do is recover from that and go on and learn from it and not let that defeat you.
Sanders not only created Stitch, but provided the voice as well. He says he couldn't imagine hiring a really amazing actor and then having him or her make squeaking noises.
Lilo and Stitch is battling it out for numbers at the box office with a cop from the future. Tom Cruise's futuristic thriller Minority Report raked in an estimated $37 million over the weekend. And the movie's distributor, 20th Century Fox, says that puts Minority Report on the top of the box office. But when the final numbers come out tomorrow, Lilo and Stitch may edge out Minority Report for number one. We'll have to stay tuned to that. Meanwhile, in its second full weekend, Scooby-Doo fell to number 3 at the box office. Scooby and Friends pulled in a little more than $24 million.
I'm rooting for Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Hey, have you taken the kids to see any of those?
No, Lilo and Stitch just came out. I think it's maybe a little bit too much for my daughter, who's only 3.5.
Oh, well.
So she sees it on the commercial and kind of looks over, and I'm like, no, I don't think we want to go there quite yet. But anyway, we'll see. I guess I got to do it now. The Mariners blast off from Houston in baseball today with Mike Cameron lighting the fuse. Highlights forthcoming. Plus, the Portland-Seattle feud takes to the soccer field, PGE Park. Timber! Consider yourself warned. We're back in a minute.
Now, Al Bundy on When Your Car Goes Bust.
Why don't we just get a new car?
You don't throw something away just because it doesn't work. If that was the case, you wouldn't have a mother.
Al goes shopping for the car of his dreams.
Just don't get another weenie mobile.
And you won't believe your eyes.
Am I not fit to die?
Tonight on KPTV, Oregon's 12.
Hey, come on, let's go.
Only in Oregon, where millions of dollars in lottery profits go to maintain our state parks year-round. Because to Oregonians, there's no such thing as a bad day at the beach. Lottery games are based on chance and should be played for entertainment only.
When it comes to the quality of our suits, our customers find that we're like a small men's boutique. And it's only when they see the price that we're like a warehouse.
Men's Warehouse.
You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
We invented the first minivan. Today, they're the best-selling, most award-winning minivans in the world. And now they're easier to get into during the National Minivan Sales Event at your Chrysler dealer. Get 7-year, 100,000-mile protection on engines and transmissions, $2,500 cash allowances, or 0% financing on select models, and make no payments for 90 days. So for great products, great protection, and great value, get to the National Minivan Sales Event today.
Planning to sell your home or condo this year? You're probably wondering how much it's worth. You can find out free on the web at housevalues.com. So if you're planning to sell, visit housevalues.com today. That's housevalues.com.
Ever since Ken Griffey Jr. left the Mariners for the Reds, he hasn't been the same. Today, another setback. The story next in sports.
If you're into this, you gotta have this. This look like fun? Watch this. With AT&T digital cable, you'll find channels that fuel all your outdoor interests, plus local weather and recreation reports. And when you're ready to kick back, digital cable has multiple channels of the best premium TV. This summer on HBO, catch hit movies like Shrek, A Knight's Tale, and award-winning originals everyone's talking about. On Showtime, watch groundbreaking originals and great Hollywood hits like Lara Croft Tomb Raider and Spy Kids. Call 1-800-CABLE-ME now. Order any digital value package that includes HBO and Showtime and save $10 a month for the first 3 months. Plus, get free installation and a $50 gift card from G.I. Joe's. Whatever you're into outdoors, AT&T digital cable brings it home. Call now and seize this great deal. Then seize the weekend with free gear from G.I. Joe's.
I'm very excited that our numbers are up, and I can attribute it to 2 things. 1, Pete Ferryman, and 2, I'm wearing tighter pants.
Wednesday on UPN, when Enterprise comes between bitter rivals.
Release that hostage.
The crew becomes a target.
This isn't any of our business. Any other orders of mine you'd like to question?
Enterprise. Then, if you could become a wolf and feel its power.
It felt awesome.
Would you choose to remain human or be seduced by the call of the wild?
There's something you're not telling me.
I'm a disturbed teenager.
Living la vida loca.
Don't miss Wolf Lake after Enterprise.
Wednesday at 8 on KPTV, Oregon's 12. Now, sports with Dan Christopherson.
All right, the Portland Timbers are night and day since a guy named Fadi Afash made a splash in the starting lineup. He is good for 1 goal per game, 8 in 8 games. And with old Timber Jim up there to put the beat on, Afash and the Timbers take the axe to the rival Seattle Sounders. In the 24th minute, there's Afash getting his head on it. His 8th goal in 8 games. As I said, looks like he's hurting. All right, that's right, I gave it away. The only goal of the game. Look at the great save by Matt Napoleon, and he'll do it again coming up. The Timbers working their way back in the race. They win it 1-0. They're now 4-7-2, which doesn't sound great, but they're in 3rd place. Seattle is still the team to catch or cut down at 10-2. Linda Hargrove's Portland Fire had been heating up, but they can try to reach the altitude of the Houston Comets today. Can they do it? Well, Stacey Thomas knocks down the 3 ball off the bank. Watch there in the little shadow there. That's Comet star Cheryl Swoops. Had to take some stitches for getting hit in the head, but she came back in a nice way off the Sonia Henning-Steele. Here comes Swoops to the hoop. She had 17 points, but the brightest Houston Comet is Tina Thompson. Goes for a career-high 31 points, doing it inside and outside, as you will see. Houston pulls away 71-58, and after winning 4 of 5, Portland has now lost 2 in a row by just getting real stagnant on offense.
We're not rotating the ball. We're not getting ball reversals. We have people just standing in one spot, and that's not how our offense is dictated. I mean, that's not what we're supposed to be doing. And we're just going to have to get very disciplined.
Sounds like a coaching lecture is on the way, and they will have to do it on the go. They're on to Utah on Tuesday. The Portland Beavers got a late start in Oklahoma. They scored 6 runs in the 9th inning, though, and they beat the Redhawks 10-8. Nice comeback. The Mariners are in Houston wrapping up their 9-game tour of National League ballparks. John Olerud single. Here comes Ichiro. Just will get a hand in to beat the throw by Richard Hidalgo. And if you're impressed with that, remember the old phrase, what goes around the bases comes around. This time, Ichiro's in right field. Here comes Hidalgo, the guy who tried to throw him out, and he just copies Ichiro, and it works just as well. give that Astro a hand, but give the Mariners the victory. Mike Cameron, talk about a hot and cold hitter, scorching in this one. He doubles to clear the bases, 3-run score. Later, Cammy will let fly on his 100th career home run, and the M's rip the Stros 10-5, so they go 6-3 on that interleague road trip. Just when you think Ken Griffey Jr. might be getting in the swing, his tender hamstrings betray him yet again. Jr.'s hard-driving double looking good, but it ends with a whimper as he pulls up kind of lame at second base. A tight hammy, he says, "I'm out of here," and the Reds limp to a loss to Oakland 5-1. All right, on a lost weekend for baseball, this is what Darryl Kyle played for, the joy and the ice cream on a young fan's face. We're in New York with the Mets, and the game tries to bounce back with plays like this. Raul Ibanez pulling it down at the wall. Great catch. Now we go to San Francisco. The Orioles' Jay Gibbons, not afraid to ride the rail. Check it out, going head over heels and coming down with the ball. That's worth one more look. I know, what a great athlete, huh? One more look here as he makes the play, and the Orioles bring down the Giants 3-1. All right, it's been 2 years since Marion Jones ran away with the Summer Olympic Games in Sydney. As time slowed her down, let's check it out. Here we go to the U.S. Championships in Stanford, California. Marion often flying in the center in the 100-meter final. Of course, she turns it on when she has to, and she wins her 4th U.S. title at that distance. But that's just a warm-up for her specialty, the 200 meters, not a replay. This is her winning again. She has not lost a 200 in 7 years in any race, and she wins her 5th title at that distance. All right, the NASCAR fellas taken to the road course, and after so many left turns in the other races, Dale Earnhardt Jr. just goes too far right, trying to negotiate the turn. The raceway at Sonoma, California has Jerry Nadeau leading, but he loses his gears with 3 laps to go. That's just bad luck, and Ricky Rudd says, "Thank you very much. I will take the victory." You don't want to lose your gears with 3 laps to go. Just hang on.
He couldn't shift?
Couldn't shift. He was out of shift. He was shiftless.
Wow.
Yes.
Hey, the Mariners have not been hitless lately for a long time. You mentioned Mike Cameron had his 100th career home run. Yeah. I believe Jeff Cirillo had his 100th career home run.
That's right. You know, they get these milestones with other teams, but it's nice to see him getting it with the Mariners. Of course, Cameron was the guy who had 4 home runs in a game back in May. Hasn't been doing well lately at all. Yeah. So it was good to see him kind of break out of it today.
Yeah, if he and Cirillo can start hitting, they're going to be tough. They already are, first place.
There you go.
Hey, thanks a lot, Dan.
Rodney, do we have some
nice weather?
Baseball weather?
Yes, perfect baseball weather, perfect golf weather. What am I doing tomorrow? Perfect watering your plants weather. 57 degrees, partly sunny, or maybe just mostly clear in the morning. It will be a dry, sunny day for the most part. Sunrise of 5:22. And if you missed me earlier in the show, I don't think we have a chance for rain until we get to this coming weekend on Saturday. So a stretch of sunny, warm days ahead for us.
All right, should be a nice week.
And Anna, how about the allergies? I mean,
the allergies. Well, they could be bad, you know, with a warm, dry weather. I'll do the allergy report next weekend, okay?
Thanks for caring, Chris.
If you missed that earlier, Anna gave us the allergy report, too.
Yes, she did. It's been a lovely night, hasn't it?
Thanks for being here. Hey, wake up with Good Day Oregon beginning at 5 a.m. Tonight. We leave you with a tribute to Old Glory.
Photojournalist Mike Curran does the honors tonight. Have a great week. Good night, everyone.
The flag reflects America's pledge to uphold freedom and work for peace throughout the world. It's America's strength in honor which helps to establish the moral character of our national foundation. The flag, endearingly referred to as Old Glory, represents all people of America. We, the people, are America. The flag also symbolizes the love and pride that we have as a nation. A reminder of America's greatness and our fortune to live in a country which values freedom above all else. It signifies the commitment made by fallen comrades defending the honor of this sacred emblem. It also exemplifies the devotion of our leaders who continue to uphold its promise of liberty, justice, and freedom for all. Nothing evokes such strong emotion as seeing the flag, either at a ceremony honoring a great event or draped over the coffin of a military veteran, as a sign of mourning for a hero and a loved one. Our flag is also a symbol of hope and perseverance.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Has she got the cheers to get what she wants?
Doing this to steal some cheerleader's boyfriend?
Daddy's girl! One-on-one.
Monday on KPTV, Oregon's 12.